Yeah, I did. Yep, I was there to watch them welterweights meet up. I didn't want them to fight. I really like both of those guys. Like, you know, Earl. Had a chance to hang around Terrence, and both guys, class act, both. Speak on it. I don't really want to speak on that fight because I don't want to take nothing away from Terrence Crawford or Earl Spence. So your fighters said, I'm with PBC, I'm with Al Heyman, but I'm not with Floyd Mayweather, and I'm not talking about Earl. I'm just talking about in general. And I need every fighter to know this. If you're with PBC, you're with Floyd Mayweather, period, okay? Period. You cannot bring up Al Heyman name without bringing up Floyd Mayweather name. We're one. With that being said, I want the best for Earl Spence. So, if I was training him or I was in his corner, I don't think he should be fighting at 147 at all. I don't think he should be fighting at 154. Really? Still 168.
Wow.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, what you just heard was the voice of retired, legendary 5-division world champion, former pound-for-pound king, former pay-per-view king, formerly known as Pretty Boy, formerly known as Money, now known as TBE, the best ever, retired 50 wins, no loss, no draw, 27 wins by way of knockout, holds every pay-per-view record known to boxing, and he is the man who beat more world champions than anybody in the history of sport of boxing. That's Floyd Mayweather Jr. With that said, Floyd Mayweather did an exclusive interview to which Floyd Mayweather was actually supposed to discuss his thoughts and his opinion on last Saturday's highly anticipated, 2 Saturdays ago, highly anticipated, undisputed welterweight showdown between now undefeated, undisputed junior welterweight, former world champion, now the undisputed reigning welterweight world champion, who is a 3-division world champion superstar boxer, Terrence Bud Crawford, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, with a record of 40 wins, no losses, no draw, 31 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch arm reach. He took on and defeated former unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many at the time, has now fallen on that pound-for-pound list, but he was considered to be top 2, if not #1. Definitely top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and Earl the Truth Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr. now has a record of 28 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. That took place July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. Floyd Mayweather was present. Floyd Mayweather did this exclusive interview to sit down and discuss what he thought about the fight. It was the most anticipated fight in 40 years. Well, it was supposed to be, on paper, a 50-50 fight if there ever were one. And it turned out to be anything but that. Terrence Crawford ended up dropping Errol Spence in the 2nd round, dropping him twice in the 7th round, and then stopping him in the 9th round. And he dominated all the rounds in between that. He clearly won him outside of the 1st round. Errol Spence had moments, but Errol Spence got dominated in this fight. And so, with that said, the fight itself in the ring was very shocking to many people to see this outcome. Many people was completely shocked to see this outcome in this fight. Nobody saw this coming. And so, obviously, everybody is eager to see and hear what legends and former and current fighters have to say about the fight. And Floyd Mayweather, as he stated, he don't want to talk about the fight. But he did state that this is a fight he did not want to make happen. And he made it abundantly clear that he made it abundantly clear that he didn't want to make this fight happen, and that, you know, if you're a fighter, his vested interest is Errol Spence, because Errol Spence is with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman. And if you are with Al Heyman, you are with Floyd Mayweather, as he stated. And you heard him make it extremely clear. He didn't want to make this fight happen. He didn't want to see these two guys fight. And he don't want to talk about the fight because it'll be perceived as him bad-mouthing one of the other fighters, which is completely understandable with today's society. Because if you tell the truth today's time, it's perceived as hate or dislike or some sort of jealousy, right? Just telling the truth, that's what that garners. So Floyd Mayweather, he don't want to touch on that. He wants to leave it alone. Roy Jones gave his opinion on the fight, and he stated that when he saw Errol Spence in Texas, Errol Spence wasn't even willing to shake his hand. So, you know, fighters don't want to be, that's the perception today's time. And so fighters don't want to be involved in that. So Floyd Mayweather saying that, you know, he's with Al Heyman, and if you with Al Heyman, you with him. This garnered people to say that, you know, Floyd Mayweather didn't want to make the fight happen. Well, he told you he didn't want to see these two fighters fight. Period. Floyd Mayweather's on record saying that when this fight is made, and when the right time is for the fight, then it'll get made. So we know that Errol Spence is on record saying that his team didn't want to make the fight. They didn't want to concede to Terrence Crawford. And it's abundantly clear because Terrence Crawford is not with the PBC. Their vested interest is obviously their fighters, as it should be. And Terrence Crawford is an outside coming in. Hence the reason why Terrence Crawford didn't trust the business model of the PBC, because, again, their vested interest is their fighters, not him. Then Floyd Mayweather goes on to say that if it was up to him and he has his Errol Spence best interest, that Errol Spence wouldn't be fighting at 154. The rematch wouldn't take place at 154. And Errol Spence wouldn't even fight at 160. He said that it'd be 160, 168 if it was up to him, right? But then he goes on to say, once again, it's not up to him, obviously. It's up to Errol Spence and his team. And he states that, you know, he wouldn't make the rematch at 154, not even 160, 168. That's how big he feels Errol Spence is. But when you look at the actual landscape, Errol Spence is not that much bigger than Terrence Crawford. He was clearly bigger than Terrence Crawford. You can clearly see he was bigger, but he's not that much bigger to where, you know, you feel like Errol Spence is a 68-pounder campaigning at 47. That's 20 pounds, right? That means Terrence Crawford, if Errol Spence is a 68-pounder, then you talking Terrence Crawford got to be at least a 60-pounder, and that's not true. Okay, Errol Spence rehydrates. Was it tough for Errol Spence to get to 47? Yes. Was it tough for Terrence Crawford to get to 147? Yes. Terrence Crawford started his career at 130, became a champion 135, 140, and 147. So he's seen as the smaller guy, but he's been at welterweight for 5 years now. So, and he's older than Errol Spence, and he ain't that much smaller than Errol Spence. So it's not easy for him to hold the weight either. When you look at 160 pounds, just to give you an example, if Errol Spence should be naturally fighting at 160 and 68, right? When Kell Brook jumped from 147, who was about the same size as Errol Spence, slightly bigger. When Kell Brook jumped and dared to be great from 147 to 160 to challenge Gennady Golovkin, there was a huge size difference between Gennady Golovkin and Kell Brook. There was a distinct size difference between the two. If Errol Spence was to go to 168, that means he would be in a division with David Benavidez. Now, I know people are going to say, well, Canelo Alvarez campaigns there at 168. Canelo Alvarez is a stocky guy, and Canelo Alvarez holds his weight different than Errol Spence. Errol Spence is taller than, Errol Spence is taller than, Canelo Alvarez, but he's not as stocky as Canelo Alvarez is, right? So there's a difference there, to say the least. Errol Spence is not a 168 pounder. Maybe he can campaign at 160, I have no doubt. Danny Garcia went to 160. He didn't fight a true 160. He fought Jose Benavidez Jr., and Jose Benavidez Jr. is fought at 147. Now, I want y'all to look at this. Look at the size difference between Kell Brook and Gennady Golovkin. And Gennady Golovkin is not a big 60-pounder. But look at the size difference between Gennady Golovkin and Kell Brook. There's a huge size difference between the two, right? And Kell Brook is the same size, if not slightly bigger, than Errol Spence. So to say Errol Spence, and Triple G fights at 160. So imagine 168. There's weight classes for a reason. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence don't belong at 168. They can dare to be great and attempt to do that, but they're not that big of guys. And Errol Spence is definitely not that big of a guy. Errol Spence is clearly smaller than Jamel Charlo, who is 5'11" and a half with a 73.5-inch arm reach, and fights at 154. So I think that was a bit of exaggeration on the part of Floyd Mayweather, to say the least. And I think that Floyd Mayweather obviously is not happy with the fact that Terrence Crawford is not a PBC fighter, and their vested interests got uprooted. Period. And so he's not going to give you a winner, but he ain't happy that Errol Spence lost, because they're his investment. Like he said, if you with Al Heyman, you with him. So he lost. Period. And we're going to see the rematch, looks like, December at 154, where Errol Spence should be campaigning, 154. Period. So let's see how it unfolds and plays out. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like your shitty videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.